Hello, I'm Joshua, and thank you for buying our Silent Cow Speed Cubes. If you didn't get yours from us, that's okay, because we have the most simple, focused, and progressive method to solve a cube, and believe it should be accessible to everyone. The Silent Cow method takes confusing wording and complicated algorithms of the beginner's method and breaks them down into 5 simple stages, and this is level 1. Hooray! The approach works on a more cognitive level, giving you small, basic movements, letting them settle in your muscle memory, so that when things do get a little trickier, your brain clicks into gear and your hands do the work. And if you do want to take this a step further and get your solve time down to the tiny seconds, then all I teach you here lends itself perfectly to more advanced techniques. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, the basics. So there are 3 different types of piece. There's a middle piece that has just 1 sticker, there's edge pieces with 2, and there's corner pieces with 3. The middles are reliable in the fact that they stay constant. Blue is always opposite green, white is always opposite yellow, and orange is always opposite to red. Now when we solve, we don't solve colour by colour as you might think, but instead layer by layer. And I'm going to show you exactly how. But the first thing I want you to do is mess up your cube. I know it can be hard, I know it can be difficult, but it will be solved again. And if not by you, by some little cousin this Christmas. So let's get on with it. Go to town on it. Mess it up. I want you to keep moving it. And every second you play with the cube, your brain gathers information that will be useful later. In fact, this series of videos is designed that you can pause it at any point, so you can practice and practice until you're ready to move on to the next bit. So pause me now and have a play. I mean it. Mess up that cube. So that being done, we have some exercises that are completely crucial. This will change the way you learn the whole cube. Now, what I want you to do is put the cube on a table in front of you, a comfortable distance away, and all we're going to do is we're going to pick it up with the right hand, just like this, with your thumb in this corner here, and then we need to rest it down on the table. And then we're going to do the same with the left. Pick it up just like this, with your thumb in this bottom one. The back finger here should mirror the front one, and we're just going to rest it down. Nice and easy. And we're going to do that 10 times on each hand before we add in our first move. Now our first move with our right hand is going to be pick it up the way we learnt it and then pull this top layer with our index finger towards us, a bit like a trigger, and then rest it down on the table. And then with the left hand, exactly the same. We're going to pull it towards us, turning our up face 90 degrees anti-clockwise. We call it our up face because it is facing up. Genius. And then once we do that over and over again, 10 times on each until we're ready, we're going to move to this finger here, our 4th finger, and we're going to lift up the cube and turn the bottom layer 90 degrees anti-clockwise with that finger before resting it down. And then again on the left hand side, lift it up like this and pull the left one towards you like so. And once we've done that over and over again, then we're going to start mixing the 2 together. So what I want you to do is pick up the cube and turn your up face 90 degrees, back down, up face 90 degrees, back down, and this time turn our bottom face 90 degrees, and back and forward, up, down, down. Now, this is more of a warm-up. You should do this every time you pick up a cube over and over again until you feel very comfortable with these finger movements. These finger movements are the key to getting quick and getting reliable solve times. So now we're going to mess up the cube again, but this time we're only going to make sure we use the finger movements that we learnt just now. So we're going to turn our bottom and top faces using only these fingers here. Now the reason we do this is because it helps algorithms and things we're going to learn in the future remain in your muscle memory much quicker, making the whole process a lot smoother. We're just trying to avoid turning the faces like this, which is completely wrong. We must always use these finger movements, and to turn the right and left faces, you just simply turn your wrist as you do. So mess it up, making sure to only use those finger movements we have been working on. Now, next thing we're going to do is making a blue cross. Now, what we're aiming for is actually this blue cross here like this, but it's connecting down to the middles. But to make it easier, to show you what I actually mean, here we have a practice cube. Now, a practice cube is when we remove stickers that we don't actually need that are distracting for what we're working with at that time. So what I'm going to do is just use this one. This is why our cubes come in pairs, so if you'd like to, you can make one of these. So what we're aiming for is a blue cross that corresponds to the middles around it, just spreading down like this. Now, most of this is actually intuitive and you have to just learn yourself. I do have some tips for you on how to do this, but most of it you just have to practice and fail to get this right. So, my first tip for you is connect the pieces like dominoes. So here's my example. So, here we have a yellow and blue piece, okay? And I'm going to spin this layer here just to connect it to the yellow side, so that's our first domino connected, and I can spin that same side, that yellow side, to bring the blue up to here. So now we have one piece in its natural position. Now, natural position is just a way of saying the place that piece will be in when it's in a solved state. So we're just trying to find all these edge pieces and put them in their natural position. Let me show you that again. So this is a white and blue piece. So if I connect it to the white side, however possible, and once it's there, I spin that same side, the white side, up to bring the blue into place. And I can do that with most of these. So here is a red and blue here on the bottom layer. I can spin that to the red. Here it is on the face, and then spin that up. Now, my second tip for you is the bottom layer here is completely free because we're not working on it at all. So we can use this layer and put things that we need on this layer if it's difficult to get there. So this piece, for example, feels a bit trapped because it actually belongs up here. This is where its natural position is. But if I bring it down to the bottom layer and spin it away, as long as I put this one back, always remember to put things back if you move them. What I can do now is connect it to the orange and then spin it up to the top, and I have a blue cross. Now, my final piece of advice for you is called fill the container. Now, sometimes you have a piece that's maybe the wrong way around, like this, and it's difficult to connect to it because it's already connected the wrong way around. Now, what we can do is move it out the way, just put it to here maybe, and this here is what we would call a container, because that is where the natural position of that piece is. So these pieces are in their natural position, whereas this piece is not quite there yet. So what we do is we want to fill the container by moving it. If this is the container here where this piece belongs, I can move it just to the side like this, and then I can turn my left face here to bring it up like a domino, the blue side, and then just spin it back, and I've got it into place. So let's mess it up and do it again. So, with the blue facing up, what do we have? We have just here on the bottom layer here, we have a white and blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the correct fingering to get it connected to the white side, like so. And then I'm just going to turn it here and spin the right face to connect it up. Next up, we have this blue and yellow. If I connect it to the yellow, you'll see that it's the wrong way around, which we don't particularly want. So what I can do is I can keep it on the bottom layer here and just connect it to the yellow by turning this way before spinning it to the top. Now, what's next? So this here is a blue and orange piece, and it's in completely the wrong place. So the best thing to do is, like I said before, step 2, put it on the bottom layer. So if I spin this right side, it's on the bottom layer, it's free to do what it wants. Now I can turn the bottom layer so that the orange has connected to the blue, like so, and then just spin that face that I've connected it to bring the blue up, putting it in its natural position. And the final piece here is this red and blue piece here at the back. I'll spin it forward by using the bottom layer, and you see once again it's the wrong way around, so we're going to play with the container again. So if I just put this here and then move the container we're working with to there, so I can connect that blue and connect all 4 pieces back, and we're solved. So that is the blue cross. So remember those pieces of advice. Connect the pieces like dominoes, utilize the bottom layer, which is completely free, and fill the container when you need to. Now this is about doing it over and over again and getting this into your practice. Practice this over and over again. Don't worry about getting it super fast, just worrying about getting good at it. Soon you'll be confused how you couldn't do this before. But here's something to think about while you're practicing that. I'm going to show you a very simple move that will be incredibly useful in the next level. You'll fly straight through it. So it's called an alternation. And this is where we're going to make 4 moves, and this is how we're going to do it. So what I want you to do is turn the right face like this towards you, and then using this finger like we did before, on the right hand, the 4th finger, I want you to turn the bottom layer like that. Now this is what we call the pair, okay? And now what we're going to do, we're going to alternate that back. So we're going to turn the right face back up away, and then using that left finger like this, we're going to spin it back. The whole move itself looks like right this way, down, right back, down again. Essentially what's happening here is you're going right, pause, right, pause. Or from the bottom there, you're going pause, down, pause, down, pause, down, pause, down. Together it looks like this. Now make sure you're doing the right finger movements. It'll make this incredibly easy to memorize. So that's it. You have 3 things to be working on. You have your practice moves, and doing this over and over again really helps going forward. You've got to make the blue cross with all the tips I've given you there, and you've got to work on this simple move. Then you are ready for level 2. So that's it. Please like and subscribe so we can make more like this. And go back, rewind, rewatch, practice and play, and I'll see you in level 2.